Let me take you back 7 years. On July 28th, 2017, Escape from Tarkov had just released into its closed beta and was slowly taking the world by storm. But the big price tag and hardcore gameplay loop drove off some players. So fast forward 2 years and the cycle was born. And it looked nothing like Escape from Tarkov because it wasn't trying to be Escape from Tarkov. The cycle was a game where you were like a competitive quest completion game. And PvP was in the game, but it was more optional than anything else.
That's why we call it PvEVP, or in the long form, free-to-play, player versus environment versus player, first-person competitive quest shooter, Royale.
However, Jaeger Studios, the developer of this game, realized, hey, this game isn't making any fucking money at all. We gotta switch it up. And so they looked at Escape from Tarkov, which was making the big bucks. And so over the course of 3 years with a lot of cut content, the Cycle Frontier was born on June 8th, 2022.
Yo, what is up, guys?
Yo, what's up? I was literally gonna do that. I swear to God, I was gonna do that.
Hey.
And honestly, this game was awesome. Off rip, it had 40,000 concurrent players. But within 2 weeks, that player base would halve. And within another month, that player base would halve again. And the problem with the Cycle Frontier was quite obvious from the beginning. The main problem with a free-to-play game is the fact that there's no real repercussions to cheating in a free-to-play game. Your account gets banned, just make another one. And with the ability to make hundreds of spoof emails, there was no real reason not to cheat. And the incentive, well, other than the fact that some people were addicted to cheating, other cheaters would engage in what's known as RMTing, which is where someone would get a brand new account, cheat on it to get endgame loot, and then sell that account for real world money. Pair that with a lackluster anti-cheat system, and it became commonplace to load into a game and encounter a cheater.
Bro, you guys are hard cheating, bro. Like, I'm not retarded. You guys know that, right? Like,
We're cheating?
yeah, your fucking boy with the numbers name is fucking hard cheating. I'm not retarded.
Yeah, he is. How'd you know? I pay him to
How'd
cheat.
you know? That's crazy, bro. Because you got a diet. You and your
That
fucking
guy
boy about to
fucking
die.
lasered me, and I'm cheating.
Bro, how do you know? Do you have like...
I already have anti-aim on, bro. You're not gonna be able to do anything.
Eventually, the player base dwindled and decided to settle around 5,000 to 7,000 concurrent players, which is still very good, and legitimate players most of the time were able to enjoy themselves. However, Jaeger was still trying to combat the cheating problem, and rather than, I don't know, investing in a new anti-cheat that actually worked, they decided to set up parameters which would only be triggered by cheaters, and once they were triggered, would deliver them with an instant ban. Now, on paper, that sounds good. It honestly sounds great. But the problem was they fucked up, and one of the parameters actually banned hundreds of legitimate players because of one mistake.
Are you tired of this happening to you? Cheaters again? Then we have a solution for you. The Cycle Frontier Anti-Cheater Spray.
If you went on Reddit and searched up false bans on r/the Cycle Frontier, you would see hundreds of people complaining about the fact their accounts had gotten falsely banned. Even my own friend K-Dog got banned during this time, rest in peace K-Dog. But how did this happen? Well, I mean, in all honesty, we already know something, and it's not easy to say, so I'm just gonna say it straight up. The Cycle's Frontier anti-cheat was dog shit, alright? And Jaeger knew this, and so instead of investing in a good anti-cheat, they decided to take an alternative route, and the alternative route was pretty simple. They would set up traps that only cheaters would trigger, right? And these traps were pretty convenient, or pretty smart in my opinion, right? One of the most famous examples was the fact that if you were to hit too many critical shots on a player, you would get banned. Let me get more into detail about this. See, a critical shot on a player's hitbox was their head hitbox. And so if somebody were to hit, I don't know, like 20 to 30 headshots in a row, they would immediately get flagged and insta-banned because there's just no way a legitimate player could hit that many headshots within a single extraction. And on paper, it sounded great, except for one problem. They decided that there was player hitboxes and mob hitboxes, right? And the anti-cheat kind of confused the two. And so the threshold didn't only count player hitboxes. It also counted all of the mob's hitboxes. And so one mob in particular became a ban magnet for false bans, right? And that mob was the Brute. See, the Brute had a critical hitbox right like here, and he would just stand there and roar at you. And so it was very easy to mag dump him and unknowingly get yourself banned after you extract. So that's how a lot of people got banned. And the next question obviously is, well, what did Jaeger do because of all these false bans, right? There was a lot of people asking about it on Twitter and on Reddit. And luckily, within a few weeks, Jaeger would update us and give us a sort of update on the whole ban process, the cheating process. And they decided to update that YouTube video, and I'll just play a clip about what they were going to do.
Yeah, we've also had some false positives with that, and we've banned innocent players, and I just want to apologize for that. So new detections.
And yeah, that was it. They said, hey, yeah, we're very aware of the fact that we banned a shit ton of you. Sorry about that. That's it. They didn't do anything. You know, if you got banned, you're fucked, right? So all of the hours you spend in the game, all of the loot you got, all of the quests you completed, a lot of things that took a lot of time, you just have to make a new account and start from scratch. And while this was going on, the cheating epidemic was still fucking massive. So after Jaeger effectively banned like a solid amount of their player base, they released season 2 of the cycle. Whoa, yes, let's go. And season 2 of the cycle brought in a lot of new content, and it brought some changes that players had been asking for a long time. But there was actually something going on in the background of season 2, right? Jaeger had been secretly hoping that season 2 would be like a reboot for the Cycle Frontier, and they'd be able to get back up to 40,000 concurrent players. And so when the game had only peaked at 8,000 concurrent players, Jaeger got very disappointed, and development for the game started to slow down. With the cheating epidemic still being a problem, the player base steadily declined more and more, and Jaeger went radio silent for 6 whole months. No real updates, no new seasons announced, and because of that, the player base would drop down all the way to 2,000 concurrent players within December. Finally though, in March, Season 3 of the Cycle Frontier dropped, and this brought some extreme changes. One of those extreme changes being that there was no longer any wipes. Now, if you're not familiar with what a wipe is, I'm not talking about Kleenex. I'm talking about the fact that in any extraction shooter, there comes a point in time where everybody who cares about the game has completed everything, has the good loot, and sort of doesn't really care about the game. And so a way to sort of make an artificial form of progression is to completely reset everybody back to the base level with low tier loot, so that way they can progress again. It keeps the game alive, it keeps players happy, and it's an artificial way to sort of bloat progression. And now Jaeger just removed that core part of an extraction shooter game. On the other hand though, the content in the game was mediocre at best, but for once, Jaeger had a good anti-cheat. Bifron was the leading developer of the anti-cheat for the Cycle Frontier, and I'm gonna be honest with you, this shit slapped. There was literally no cheaters during this time, and yet players still hated Season 3 because of the fact that there was no new wipe, because the content was mediocre, and because of that, it was known as the most hated season of the Cycle Frontier. Yet, it got 10,000 concurrent players within its launch, even though it steadily declined. And Jaeger was still very disappointed with this. In the background, Jaeger was losing money on this game, and their only hope was to revive this slowly with updates that would keep going through with Season 3. Luckily, they were optimists, and they were happy about the fact that the cheating epidemic was finally done with. And oh shit, oh fuck, Roblox, yeah, the fucking, survive the natural disasters, bought Bifron, the anti-cheat software. Oh fuck, oh no, we're back with easy anti-cheat. Oh no, the cheaters are back in full force. Oh god, the player base is dropping to all-time lows, and oh shit, Jaeger threw in the towel. Jaeger finally decided to move on to bigger and better things. And in a strange update or a developer blog post too, they complained about the fact that servers cost too much money to run, which, in all honesty, I don't get how that's the player's fault, right? If you're gonna make an online shooter, of course it's gonna fucking cost money to keep the game online. And as the final weeks went by, the player base would still steadily decline, especially with the announcement of the sunset. Player base would drop into the low thousands and slowly into the low hundreds until finally the servers went offline. And that was it for the Cycle Frontier. But hey, at least Roblox doing good.
Subscribe to Chucked Out, motherfuckers.